When decision makers are thinking about a project that they are going to implement, one of the issues that the diversity agenda brings to that decision making process is trying to encourage those decision makers to gather solid evidence early on in the decision making process to inform the end result. So it's about leaders and practitioners and designers thinking through what might the needs be, what do I know about end users, how can I factor those needs in so that that end solution is fit for purpose, not getting to the stage where you've done the design in terms of the materials that you're going to use and the engineering side of things, but thinking about who's going to use it, how are they going to be affected by that, so that you don't design something in a vacuum, you design something that has end user need in mind. And as a public service, that's really a critical part of what we do, because we're not designing for an amorphous mass, we're designing for real people with real needs, older users, younger users, disabled users, female users, male users. People bring different needs to the same problem, and gathering evidence on what those needs are means that the end decision is more likely to result in an inclusive solution. It's important in a leadership team to have knowledge, to have evidence, to have sound information on which to base a decision. Any leader can only bring really their own life experience to bear and their own background and their own qualifications. It's absolutely imperative that that leader takes soundings and takes knowledge and takes experience from a much broader range of people. And that might be other technical experts, it may be different professionals in different aspects of the business, it might be HR, it might be communications, it might be graphics, it might be procurement, but tapping into expertise across the breadth. I think it's really important that a leader has self-awareness around their own intrinsic natural leadership style, but on top of that, it's a matter of understanding how that natural leadership style is received by the people that you're working with and the people you're working through. So you need to have a repertoire of leadership styles, but you also need to have your radar open for where's my audience coming from, what's the knowledge base, how are those people engaging with what I'm saying, so that you bring people along with you, not you're bulldozering them or you're forcing them, but you are engaging those people to understand the agenda and to bring the capabilities and skills they have fully to bear on whatever that problem is. Because if you can really tap into the capability and the ability and the experience of the people sitting around that table, what you're going to generate is a whole load of more creative solutions. So you don't want, as a leader, to be shutting capability down through your leadership style or through allowing another protagonist in that meeting to dominate or to create an environment in which another individual can't flourish. Developing your skills as an inclusive leader really boils down to engaging with, listening to, seeking out information from the people that you're working with. So creating spaces and opportunities to really learn about where that person's coming from, what they're experiencing, so that you begin to understand the context in which they're operating, the challenges that they're facing, so that you can support that and use that information to inform next steps. And as a leader, there is a responsibility that you have that when you've gathered that information, that you challenge inappropriate behaviour, that you create a climate in which people feel as though they are respected for who they are and what they bring to the party, and that the packaging that they come in is really not relevant. So being a female engineer as opposed to a male engineer should really not be a relevant consideration. It's around, can you do the job? Do you have that capability? What strengths can that leader pull on? And there is, as I said, a responsibility on the leader to create the conditions under which any player can flourish. And what counts is merit, is ability. a woman who overheard a colleague who was really just regaling a story about what they'd done at the weekend. And what they'd done at the weekend was that they work as a bar person. And in the bar, there was a disabled customer who sat at the end of the bar and wanted to talk to the barman all night. And the anecdote in the office really was around how irritated the barman had been by this disabled person. And it really got quite unpleasant because it was clear that the reason the barman didn't want to engage with the customer was because he was disabled. And although there was nobody who was disabled in that environment, and although she wasn't disabled, she challenged what he was saying and really made it clear to him that it was an inappropriate thing to say in that culture, in our culture and in our environment, because she is aware of disabled people. She was offended by that. It was just totally inappropriate. And so by challenging what he was saying, she was saying this culture is about respect. It's about enabling people to perform. It's not about looking at a disability or a gender or a sexuality. That's really irrelevant. What's relevant is enabling that person to perform. This is somebody, middle management, who's working her way up through the ranks, but she really demonstrated leadership skills at that level because she was intervening at the appropriate time, having the courage to challenge a cultural norm, and she made a difference.